Okay, we're live, but we got to let it breathe just for a second. I know we don't have a whole lot of time here, but we got to make sure we got the whole fam damly with us as we bring on Facebook, and we're good. Welcome in, everybody, to the Huddle Up Podcast Rapid Reaction Halftime Stream. I'm your host, Chad Jensen. With me, as always, my partner in crime. You know him, you love him. He is Zack Kelberman. Zack, as we speak, I am displaying a birthday present, a gift I received 2 days ago that allows me to watch the game, blog, stream, podcast, all in one, dude. This technology thing, it's pretty rad.
Chad, you are the real MVP. But unfortunately for your retinas, though, you had to observe Elijah Wilkinson up close, giving up that sack on Drew Lock. And as I posited to you right before we went live, we'll open with this today. Why is Elijah Wilkinson? You explained to me the answer, which doesn't make sense, but I pose this to Broncos country right now. Why in the hell is Elijah Wilkinson playing? Why is he seeing time on the field? Why is he out there and DeMar Dotson is not? If DeMar Dotson is active, if he's healthy and willing, he needs to be at right tackle. I don't care about combinations. I don't care about pairing. I don't care about Netane Muti. I care about Drew Lock and the Broncos offense. And DeMar Dotson is the best right tackle on this roster. Elijah Wilkinson, Chad, he's not a tackle now. He never was the tackle, and he never will be a tackle. Certainly not a starting tackle. He proves that every single time he's on the field.
So here's, for those who are wondering, here's how it shook out, all right? We knew Graham Glasgow, the starting right guard, was ruled out on Saturday. All right. So we expected Austin Schlottman to get the start. That's who's been starting anytime or playing anytime Glasgow. Well, the Broncos got the bright idea this time because they knew Glasgow was banged up all week. They wanted to see what the rookie, the sixth rounder, Netane Muti, might have. So they kind of activated him and let him know this week, hey, you could be playing. We might decide to start you instead of Schlottman. Sure enough, that was their decision. But then what compounded it, two things. One, Garrett Bowles woke up this morning sick. And so it was bad enough that they just said no. And they said, we're going to put Calvin Anderson at left tackle because technically Anderson is the backup left tackle. That's fine by me. I don't mind that. Where I really scratch my head is they go, all right, so we're going to play Muti. But since Muti and Elijah Wilkinson have been practicing together, getting in work on the right side all week, we're going to bench the right tackle who has yet to relinquish a sack all year long and put in Wilkinson. That's the Cliff Notes version of it. Makes no sense. There's no logic. There's no rationale. I don't know.
Who is making that call, though? Because the same person making this call is the same person that was keeping Wilkinson on the field and not giving DeMar Dotson a chance earlier in the year. If it is Mike Munchak, Chad, you know what? We revere him. We laud him for what he's done. He's a Hall of Fame player, a Hall of Fame level coach, but he's made horrible decisions, and he has some weird fixation with Elijah Wilkinson. I do not know what it is. Do not know what he sees in him. He fixed Garrett Bowles, we can say, but he's ruined that right side of the offensive line. And, you know, in a weird way, it comes back to Juwan James. But when you have the same coach insisting on putting a non-tackle in a tackle spot, and Drew Lock got lit up once again. If DeMar Dotson was playing in week 2, Lock doesn't hurt his shoulder in that game. That was on Elijah Wilkinson. Why he's on the field is negligence, Chad. And neither the quarterback nor the Broncos, the rest of the players on the Broncos offense should have to suffer for Mike Munchak's ineptitude, at least at right tackle.
That's the only explanation. Well, first of all, it is Munchak's decision, and of course, Shermer has to sign off on it, but anything O-line, it just devolves to Munchak. He's the man. Everyone just says, okay, yeah, if that's what you say. But guys, we don't have a lot of time here, so let's keep our conversation flowing, get in as many of your questions and super chats as we can, because we only get 12 to 15 minutes before the boys take the field again. Here's Jonathan Chavarez jumping in with the super. Really appreciate you, my friend. He says, what's up, guys? What are your thoughts on the Broncos eyeing Mac Jones? Zack, really quick, though. We'll spend more time on this on the gut reaction, but just give a very quick Cliff Notes version of what he's even talking about.
Yeah, so a few days ago, Woody Page, and for anyone who knows Woody Page, he's a longtime Broncos insider. He's a well-connected source in the Broncos front office. He rubs shoulders with John Elway. He said on Twitter, when asked about the Broncos' future at quarterback, he said simply, Mac Jones. Gave no other explanation, but if Woody Page says it, it's worth running with. Mac Jones is a Day 2 prospect, Chad. He's buried way under the top 4 in this draft class. He's a middling prospect from Alabama. He's being compared to A.J. McCarron, but right now he is the guy the Broncos are looking at in the middle rounds. Doesn't seem like they want a Fields or a Zach Wilson or even obviously a Trevor Lawrence. They want to use that round 1 pick on a different position, maybe a lineman, maybe in the secondary, and grab a quarterback in the middle rounds like Mac Jones.
Guys, we'll talk more about that later. As far as the game's concerned, we got Jonathan Figueroa jumping in with the super. Thanks, Jonathan. He says, Wilkinson sucks. Locke is playing pretty good. I would say, yeah, pretty good. Still not pretty. Still not the way that you want to see it. Still kind of a little disjointed at times, but definitely a more efficient Drew Lock, taking what the defense has given him, Zach, and, not taking too many unnecessary risks. It sucks that Jeremy Chin is a phenomenal defensive back, dime backer.
I wanted him so bad this year.
A whirling dervish. He forced the ball out on that sack, but otherwise Locke has played solid. That's what I'll say, Zach. And then Eddie here, 2 words, Philly will. Chad, thanks, Chad and Zach, Denver Broncos for life. Good to see you, Eddie.
It's good to see Will Parks, too. I mean, he never should have left, and I'm glad he's back in the Broncos uniform. He's wearing Steve Atwater's number, Chad, making plays off the edge. Great to have Will Parks back. In terms of Drew Lock, I think he's playing well because this is no surprise to any of you guys listening to us. The play calling is more in tune with Lock's style. Lots of rollouts, lots of play action, keeping Lock on the move, and high percentage completions. It's why he's getting the tight ends involved. He's working the short area of the passing game. And I've seen comments on Twitter blaming Lock for that sack. That was not on Lock. That was his offensive line breaking down. He had no time to look up, but he's taking what's in front of him, Chad. He's not playing hero ball. The turnover was not his fault, and the Broncos are winning because of him. That last touchdown pass was a good throw, but a better play call by Pat Shurmur. Credit where it's due.
James jumping in. Where's that super, John, from James that went on and off the screen really fast? I don't know where. There he is. Appreciate the super chat, my friend, and the support. It adds up. It all matters, and that's very generous of you, and we really, really appreciate you. Josh says, we didn't use, and thank you for the super chat, we didn't use any of our timeouts in the first half. Could have stole one more possession, but no, of course. Yeah, I think this is one of those cases, Zach, where Vic Fangio is like trying to not look the gift horse in the mouth. He's like, look, I'm leading at halftime. Let's kind of regather ourselves at halftime and see what we can do.
Yeah, he probably thinking, what do I do with my hands right now? We have a lead. I'm not risking this. I'm not chancing it. Listen, we'll go into halftime up. And you know what? The Broncos strategy coaching-wise is paying off in the first half. I can't complain too much about the final seconds.
Kenneth Booker, good to see you, my friend. By the way, I was going to reach out to you today. Somehow, I think it was I tried to blame the third-party people, but they said, no, this was done on the entry of the order. Your mug got sent to your address, right? Your physical address. But instead of that physical address in the United States, it got sent to the Republic of South Korea. So I'm trying to figure out how to get that thing back, and in the meantime, getting you a new one sent out. So reach out to me. I'll give you some deets on a DM, but appreciate you, my friend. Zach, yes, on one hand, you're like, special teams, baby. Look,
yeah, that was
Diontae, 83 yards to the house.
And then what happens on the ensuing play? Special teams, once again.
Just the way it's just the name of the game for this team in 2020, at least.
Yep. And you know what, though? I like seeing Diontae Spencer finally show off his wheels last year. I mean, he was an upgraded punt returner, not saying much, but he was so close to breaking the big one. It was finally good to see his speed on full display. But come on, Brandon, you got to hit that extra point, man.
Yeah. I mean, are you the man or not? Like, are you an elite kicker in the league or not?
You talk like one. I mean,
yeah, he puts on airs like he is. But Lawrence, appreciate the super. He says, Jerry Jeudy is really out here. Yeah, Jeudy has played like he's got something to prove today. He saves the touchdown after Jeremy Chin strip sack block. Yeah. Big fella scoops it up, goes 54 yards, and you're thinking to the house. But Jeudy hustles, has to hand fight with him as he gets, approaches him from the rear, and then finally manages to bring this massive cat down, saving a touchdown. Of course, the Panthers got in a couple plays later, but it showed the heart of Jeudy and the pride. And then on that last possession of the Broncos, which resulted in the touchdown, Locke was really looking his way. I want to say there were at least 3 targets that went Judy's way. Only one of them was a catch for 31, but it's good to see him getting involved. When Judy's involved in the game plan, Zach, good things happen.
Yeah, same with running Phillip Lindsay to the edge. And again, credit where it's due, Pat Shurmur. He finally got the message. It's December 13th, but it finally got across to Pat Shurmur. Take what's in front of you, roll Lock out, be creative, and get Jerry Jeudy the football. It's unfortunate, though. They want to get him a screen pass, Chad, and he finally got a target, and it was the worst thrown ball he's seen this season. It was just right in the turf in front of him. But yeah, that 31-yard catch, if you watch the play, Jeudy got off the line with one of the dopest routes you will ever see run. That's what he can do. He can create separation and make himself open. It's on Locke to find him, and it's on Pat Shurmur to target him in the passing game.
And it's just another one of those head scratchers because it ends up being a really nice throw, but Locke throws it off his back foot. It's like, dude, you didn't need to throw off your back foot there. Like, what in the heck? Mike Evans, who we love in the most brotherly and platonic way possible. Appreciate you, my friend. He says, we are playing fairly well. We have to win this game. I agree. The Broncos do have to win this game if they want to avoid a losing season. They have to win out. So Mundungus, good to see you, my friend. He says Locke is playing average. Need to see more. I agree. We need to see more. It's solid. That's all I'll say. He's been solid today, but still at times, Zach, feeling very kind of disjointed in terms of, I don't know, just not fluid, just not flowing.
I would say he's playing at a C+, maybe B- level, but it's a lot better than a D+, D- level. It's baby steps and incremental, Chad. I mean, you talked about it on your last comment. A 31-yard completion, you finally got it to Jeudy, but he threw it off his back foot. It wasn't the prettiest pass in the world. It's baby steps. It's part of the process. I want to see Locke continue it, though, in the second half and not take steps backward in this game.
We had one there from Josh that I accidentally jumped off the screen, John, and I'm beyond him. Josh Alstrom, good to see you, my friend. Oh, we did grab that one. Okay, again, Josh, thank you for the super, my dog. Mike Sari says, Shermer, and thank you for the super, Mike. He says, and it's also very cool to connect with you on Twitter, Mike. He says, Shermer has utterly failed to coach out the bad habits of Locke, and his play calls are a joke. I hate it, but we need to get a different OC to save our future with Locke. I agree with you that Shermer has not seemed to be the right pick to kind of shepherd Locke through his year two, learning curve, Zach. But the Broncos are in a rock and a hard place. We can talk about long-term, what happens after the season, but Shermer's been better today. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, but the bar's not very high, and we're all lauding him for calling play action, rolling Drew Lock out. It was never rocket science, Chad, and I said on Twitter well before that last touchdown, a play action pass to a wide open tight end. It's really common sense, and that's what he has to employ with Drew Lock, is play to his strengths and try to avoid the weaknesses. If you would have done this from week 1 or week 2, the record would have been a lot different this year, right now.
Ryan Steinauer jumping in. Appreciate the super. He says, where is Fant? Fant exited toward the end of the first quarter with an illness is what's being reported.
What is going on?
No
food poisoning?
And it's not the word that shall go unmentioned from all that we understand, like with what Bowles woke up with this morning. He was tested. He doesn't have it. The CV. So this question from Pickle Ian. Well, appreciate the super. He says, what is Denver's path to playoffs since we haven't officially been eliminated? Trying to be optimistic. Holler at us after this live stream. We don't have time right now to go into that particular question, but we're going to be back as soon as the game ends for the gut reaction. We'll have an hour and change to go through some of this stuff. And John, if you can help remind me, I'll cover this. We'll cover this question for you, Ian, in the gut reaction. But Big Kev jumping in too, Zach. Appreciate you, Kev. Good to see you. Secondary looks nice with our situation, allowing the rush to get there. The secondary, Zach, has been surprisingly solid today.
It has, and Michael Ojemudia made a really great pass breakup in the end zone. He got his head around, Chad. He located the football. He got his arm in there. He's playing really well. And let me just give a shout-out to real quick to Marcus Walker, screaming off the edge for a sack. All he does is make plays when he's on the field. At this rate, he's going to get a contract in free agency, and I want the Broncos to give him that contract.
Braden Poff jumping in. Thank you for the super. More Jerry and 2 steps forward, then back. That's the exact verbiage. And Joe Gallegos jumping in. Appreciate you, Joe. Gang, we are at the point where this second half is about to kick off. So before we sign off, NH5 jumping in as well. Thank you, my friend. He says, with all the shifting going on in this game, O-line and secondary, I really wish I could watch. Let's go Broncos. Well, why can't you watch NH5? Excuse me, Zach, what was the name of that stream?
Crack Stream.
Crack Streams. Go to Crack Streams. Search Crack Streams. You can find this game if you don't have it televised in your local sector. All right, real quick, Zach, before we sign off, here's Drew Lock's first half numbers for posterity. He is 12 of 16, so he's completed 75% of his passes, 85 yards, a touchdown, and a QB rating of 107.6. Very atypical. He's got the one giveaway, though, because he was strip sacked. Meanwhile, Melvin, let me try and get this a little bit bigger. Melvin is 10 for 37 on the ground. Phillip is 6 for 26 on the ground. Receiving, Jerry Jeudy leads the way with 1 reception, 31 yards. Van Et's got 4 catches, surprisingly, but Jerry's been targeted 3 times. Him, Fumagalli, and Van Et lead the way.
Yeah, 4 targets for Van Et, 3 for Fumagalli. You can tell this is a very specific game plan, get the tight ends involved. But, Chad, I got to give Shermer credit right there. It's in front of you. Very balanced approach, 16 runs and 16 passes in the first half for the quarterbacks and the running backs. I got to give credit. Shermer's calling a pretty solid game.
Terry, appreciate you, my friend. He says, Fant has the poo?
The trots.
I don't know. the runs. Alvin, good to see you, my friend. Really appreciate that super chat.
Thank you.
It means a lot. He says, let's go. Agreed. Let's avoid that sub 500 finish and keep, as unlikely as it may be, the playoff dream alive as long as they can. But listen, guys, we got to dip out for now. We're going to be back. We want each and every one of you back here in the stream with us for the gut reaction episode, which will be streaming live within 5 minutes of the final gun. So we'll get that link up in the stream set up here. About as the fourth quarter opens up, we'll have that set up. So join us back here where we can spend an entire hour, kind of let our hair down, analyzing this game, talk about some of the questions that we got today that are a little bit more future-oriented, like the Mac Jones buzz and the playoff question from Ian. We'll get to all that. So, Zach, we'll see how it shakes out, but sign us off, and then we'll be back at the end of the game.
Well, I just see that Gus Malzahn was fired by Auburn, so that was kind of surprising. But, yeah, I think the Broncos, if they keep up their level of play like in the first half, which is always a big ask, they can win this game. And I think they can win this game going away. I like what I've seen on both sides of the ball, Chad. But it's always a four-quarter game with Denver. Either they win it or lose it in that final frame. We'll have to see.
Is this the game? They give us a full 60 minutes. We'll see.
It's looking like it.
All right, gang. We'll see you here in a little bit so we're not distracted. One of these days we are going to do a watch along. Maybe we'll do it on Saturday against the Bills, Zach. Maybe we'll do it then. I don't know. We'll see. But, gang, we'll see you here in about an hour and a half.